Hi everybody, my name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto Under 20, summer of 2017. Here we are, here we go. Well, if you're new to keto, I don't blame you if you are totally confused by what you're learning on Facebook pages and YouTube pages. Beware of the quick 90-day wonders, or maybe even a 1-week wonder. I've listened to people that are new to keto and they're suddenly experts and they say, why not have a YouTube channel and spread all my knowledge? Doesn't go far. But just be very careful to who you're listening to. There's even differing opinions with doctors. And so you need to separate wheat, pun intended, from the chaff and find out what's going to work for you and how you're going to get there. Somebody asked me how I know I'm fat adapted. And I told them I don't do the blood strips, the urine strips, the anything like that. I just know that my sugar cravings, my carb cravings, my grain cravings, even my fruit cravings went away. They just did. And I know that it was because I was getting a good amount of fat. Now today, I'm usually around 100 grams of fat each day. I consider myself on maintenance. I seem to have this set point weight where it's like from this pound to that pound, and it fluctuates. I weigh myself twice a day. No, I'm not neurotic. I weigh myself twice a week, and I mark it all down here in my book that I've kept since Weight Watchers, and I can just get a running way of seeing where I'm at and why, and if there's anything that I need to do that's drastic, and I seem to be at this set point. What am I doing now that I'm on maintenance? Nothing different. Same old. You know, some days I have a couple extra carbs of a vegetable like Swiss chard or baby kale, and other days I have less than 20. And so there's no big reward at the end except continuous sanity, continuous good sleep. My markers are good. Things have calmed down a bit, or I should say a lot. I asked Greg, we were out on the boat on a couple days ago, on the 4th, and I said to him, you know, what have you noticed about me? And he said, well, you're much calmer. And so I suppose it's keto on and keep calm, or keep calm and keto on, however you want to look at it. But be wary of the charlatans that you may hear in the keto world. There are some that are for profit. So they might tell you what you want to hear. Be careful of those private consults. I know it's very hard to find a person local, for me anyway, maybe for you too, that understands the keto food plan. My go-to is Dr. Berg. I never miss one of his live podcasts because I learned things that I didn't before. And then he's in the habit of putting out maybe, 2 to 7 minute podcasts a few times a week as well. I love the 1 hour one though, because I learn a lot. He does a lot of whiteboard sessions, which helps me a lot because I kind of get confused up here about all the whatever, what have yous. And I know there's a lot of scientific research that goes on behind the keto scenes. So although I don't understand the why and the wherefores, I trust him to have found out about it. There's other doctors as well. Dr. William Davis was my turning point. I was happy doing Weight Watchers, and then I read his first Wheat Belly, then Total Health, and it was like, no kidding, grains, sugars, and fruits? Who knew? And so 2 years ago, I gave up grains and sugars and still kept real small doses of fruits, like an ounce or 2 of them. And now I don't even have them that much. So I'm very careful in who I listen to. And if you listen to somebody that's not Dr. Berg and you've had great success with that doctor or that dietitian or whatever it is, professional person that has the street creds and the school creds to make them work for you, stay with them. I mean, there's probably a million people out there that I haven't encountered yet. I love to watch symposiums where all the best and the greatest all gather to pour out their wisdom and their scientific research, like Doctors Finney and Volek. They are probably the best scientific team in the world. Dr. Noakes, who is a sports doctor, he's down in South Africa, and he used to, in fact, he even had a book about running and carb loading and everything else. And he even invented the GU, the high carb thing that people squeeze in when they're running. And then he just stopped dead in his tracks and did a 180 and realized that no, it's the keto food plan. And it's the high fat, low carb, moderate protein way of eating that will get you through your runs. Because we are tanks of energy that are stored in our fat cells, and we can rely on it better. Then comes along Dr. Jason Fung, another person I believe in, although sometimes he's so dry that, he needs a rainstorm. But he talks a lot about intermittent fasting. And I have to admit that each podcast I listen to, I understand him better, and it makes more sense to me. Diane, D-Y-A-N, Parham, does intermittent fasting for aging women. That's a great podcast to listen to. She does a live one almost every single night, and she's been helping women find their balance for 25 years. And so although she doesn't track or weigh or do macros or count her carbs, anything like that, it's all the same. And I really like what she has to say. So sometimes on my early morning walk, I will listen to her. And then she has a Q&A at the end, and I get a lot from that as well. Dr. Vong, V-U-O-N-G, is a bariatric surgeon. He does the sleeve, and he has a new partner, Dr. Walker, who treats a lot of diabetics, and the two of them are quite the team. They talk a lot of healthy too. Dr. Vong is a lot like me. He deals with the emotional aspects of overeating, binge eating, emotional eating, and why we are fat. And his patients luck out because he requires them to take his courses. So they're not just getting, the magic fix of a sleeve and then they move happily down the road of still eating KFC and McDonald's and all the drive-thrus and pizza and chips and Doritos and sodas. He has a very strict formula, and they have to be losing before he will operate on them. And he says no to some that have gone too far, thinking that, I'll just get this now and I'll be all set. And he says other surgeons might continue to say yes to these people, but he won't. And so there are great people out there. Those are some of the ones that I seem to follow for my juju. I like interviews with Abel James, interviews with Dr. Mercola, who introduced me to the chronometer. If you're looking for an incredible tracking tool, the chronometer, it might be overwhelming at first and TMI, too much information for you, but you still could get a lot out of it. And if you're going to sign up and spend your $35 somewhere for the gold Apple one, I would suggest that. And then as you get better at what you're doing, then you will begin to explore more of what that site offers you. If you feel that you're low in a certain nutrient, or Dr. Berg talks about potassium all the time, with your chronometer you can see how much potassium you're having, where it's coming from, and learn how to add more. I even put my supplements, my electrolyte packet, which is like Licamade, that I add to my water, onto the chronometer to see how my minerals, carbs, vitamins, and fats, etc., protein, all add up for the day. And so there's a lot of great tools out there. People still love MyFitnessPal. People still love the Lose It app. I was on the Lose It app, and I was more frustrated than satisfied. And when I watched a Dr. Mercola episode, and he was strongly suggesting the Chronometer, there is a free version app as well. I went, I found it, I was ready to learn more about what I feed my body. I seek a nutrient-dense food plan. I don't fill it in with fluffy things. I'm not looking for shortcuts. I was ready for keto. I was ready for the grown-up way of eating. And now it's a lifestyle I'm not trading. I understand so much more. And I constantly work on keeping my foods upgraded. I buy organic or grass-fed when I can. I'm now in a freezer challenge, mostly with myself. I am working on meats and veggies and butter, Kerrygold butter that I've stashed in my freezer. And so I'm doing it a week at a time. I ordered a French door fridge from Lowe's that's coming in 2 weeks, so I really have the gun at my head and in emptying out the freezer. And I will do that. I have more than one freezer, so I'm really in trouble with my hoarding, and I'm probably good until September, October before I need to buy another piece of meat. I do buy the steaks that we're having for steak night on the Big Green Egg, however, to have them fresh. So that's the deal with me. Enjoy who you're listening to. You'll know soon enough if what they're saying is malarkey or if it's worth knowing and following for more. I stumbled into the people that I follow. That's how it works for me. On YouTube, you'll see the feed on the right-hand side of who you can listen to. If you're listening to something on intermittent fasting, the next one that comes up could be something on intermittent fasting. If you're listening to, say, Dr. Berg, on the right-hand side, you may see another podcast from him. That's how it works, and I love it. On Facebook, I belong to a few Facebook pages where I can follow threads of people, and that teaches me as well. So I hope this kind of helped if you're new and trying to figure out the forest from the trees. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto Under 20. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.